went in this session that we have posted today, this is somewhere where I never thought I would be. I thought this would never happen to me. And it's really interesting that it unfolded in the way that it has. And with John, I first met John in March of 2025 at a QHHT meetup. I was going around and following these meetups with Angela on a very regular basis at this point, and I had quite a bit planned. And through these QHHT practitioners come together and experience over 5 days session swaps. So you can imagine over, I guess, 12 months of attending these regularly, we've done quite a few regressions, well, I've done quite a few regressions and grown quite a lot personally, professionally through doing these meetups and exploring the depths of who I am to bring that forward for others and the journey that we're here for. I guess the soul mission, if you want to put it that way. But the session with John, when I met him last year in March, was, I would say, one of the most pivotal sessions of my experiences. What he stayed with me through at that point, for me, it was a very traumatic experience in what unlocked and what was realized. But at the same time, what awoke from releasing out of those, I would call it soul binds. Just, I could see how each meetup thereafter kept moving me forward, helping me grow into something that I kept seeing I was able to achieve and yet had never been able to fully step into. So coming into 2026, there was a meetup in the Isle of Arran, and I knew John was going to be there, and I just kept hearing from Spirit that we needed to come together. We needed to have this session, and I'd spoken to Angela about this, and said I would really like a session. I feel it's really important that we do this, and obviously if John wants to as well. And anyway, so we've gone into the meetup in March, and I mean in February this year, and and he was all in. He was all in for another session, which was great. And obviously there is something bigger there in the divine plan for what has unfolded from there has been amazing again. Just again, life-changing. One of the most pivotal sessions I've had. My intention moving into this regression that we've put forward today in this recording, it was to experience or explore my an ability, I guess, that could be brought back into this reality. Something that, I guess, what is it that my soul can do that I can now call back in and remember that is important for humanity and the work that I do to bring forth. And that's what we were seeking this day that we went into regression. I was looking for that point in time or space that I could remember that aspect of myself and call that back in, and then use that, I guess, through the work that I do. So for you, those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium and energy healer, and I'm always looking to evolve, to grow, to allow and become into what comes next. And so what unfolded was wildly unexpected, as well as also wildly appreciated. I just want to reflect some thoughts, because it's interesting when you're in regression, like you're not, well, I'm not very present, and I wasn't very present here, and yet I had memories, and I was just reading through my notes of what I'd written down from after the regression, and I'd written that these was one of the days that I never knew would happen to me. it truly is. I even sit here now, even after weeks and weeks and weeks, I've been ongoing working with John as we have continued to explore this connection with guardians of light to understand who we are, why they've come through us, what is it that the message that needs to be received, the healing that needs to be received, and how we're going to help pull that forward, be the divine vessel so that can be done through us, essentially. And so for the realization that we're just going around our life doing the best we can, and this most phenomenal and incredible experience happens. I just remember when I was in the session, it was like rivers of light were flowing through my veins. It was, yeah, stunning. It's like it was flowing through my veins, through my nervous system, and my whole body was vibrating. And it was almost like within the light that I could remember from that session, I was different. My body was vibrating and it was awake in ways it doesn't normally be awake. I don't know if that makes sense, but I remember them showing me sacred geometry and how to be a greater sovereign energy within my own light, and how the transformation of the light is working within that etheric DNA and becoming multi-level in its complexity. For those of us that are working in the light and calling in that divinity and energy, it's beyond what we can truly comprehend, I think. And I get these images and I get this sense of so much more, and yet I'm also realizing that we're truly only seeing the tip of the iceberg, and to believe in limitless really does make sense. So this regression we're posting because this is the starting point, and as I said, I've been working with John ongoing now. Each week we meet with the guardians, and it's been a beautiful journey of unlocking and learning to be a channel for them, learning to step back to allow them on a more normal basis, not in aggression, and that evolution of this phenomenal information that is coming forward, the healing that is being received, that is flowing through us for the earth, the people, the collective, anyone who's ready to receive it. And so because this is a starting point, welcome to this regression. And please, if you are keen to see the journey and the progress, for both of us, John learning to communicate with them, me learning to be the channel for them, and how we bring this together is going to be ongoing. So, keep in touch, and thank you for being here. Bye for now.
We have moved to an important day or experience. What is happening? What do you see?
I just see rivers of light. It's like there's a water wheel within the river of light.
A water wheel within. What's the purpose of the water wheel?
Generates energy.
Where is the energy flowing to?
Everywhere.
Is there a particular purpose for this energy? Is it for something specific?
For divine intervention.
for divine intervention. Can you give me an example of how this energy might be used?
It's the light.
Can you tell me how you are observing this? From what perspective are you seeing these rivers?
I get that day. We are the guardians.
You are the guardians of the rivers of energy.
Yes, we are the guardians.
How many of these are they? Are they a lot of guardians?
And we are many. We are a planet.
You are a planet. Can you tell me more?
We are many within the planet. We communicate through the line with those that will listen. We are ancient in your terms. There's a reconnection of that light, of the pure essence to be delivered. It's time to be receiving.
Who is waiting to receive this pure light?
Yeah. Those that are awakening, those that are calling in, and those that are worthy, those that find the purity.
And what must those do, those who are worthy, what must they do to connect to this light?
Be divine. Divine intention. Be intentional with the way you work. It's just simply working through love, unconditional love. It is connection through the light, the unconditional love, expansion, the divine essence, divine intervention through the light, through unconditional love, through the heart.
So if those who are worthy are able to work through the heart and receive this energy and light, what would it allow them to do with this energy that they receive?
For those that are working in this way, then there is the potential of reconnection with the limitless being, the soul being recalled, reconnected, harmonized, recalibrated. Oneness, a serene peace at the 0 point.
Why is it important that those who are worthy make this connection and embody this oneness and find the 0 point? What is it? What roles will they perform when they reach this?
Maybe this is why you're here. To reconnect the soul journey, to understand, to grow, to learn, to become. The 0 point in stillness is it coming back to self within a human existence, the joy, presence, the heart of action.
What benefit will the planet or others receive once enough people who are worthy receive this light and energy?
It's a understanding of unity, togetherness. It's like a frequency, wave, momentum. It's a movement. It's like a whispering. It's so gentle, so organic, so uplifting. It's like a joyful expression. Like just reconnects through being.
So when those who are worthy receive this and spread the light and energy, the rest of the planet will raise their vibrations and allow the joy and peacefulness to spread throughout the earth.
You're understanding, yes. Yes. It's like a movement that everyone will want to be a part of.
Yes.
Everyone will and everyone will be understanding. Everyone will understand. It's a perspective, the shift. It's a mental and emotional perspective shift that recognizes that challenges are no longer challenges, but just an opportunity to pivot.
An opportunity for humanity and the planet Gaia to pivot and improve themselves.
It's more than just a planet. It's the interconnectedness of the sacred grids connecting through the galaxies, through the dimensions. And there's more than people can imagine. The human mind cannot imagine the depth and breadth of the shifts. Simply one person starting a movement, one person deciding on being a pure divine recipient of the light, and that's spreading and lighting the way and moving and glowing and growing, vibrate, crystalline. Rivers of light. The joy will be felt. It is really beautiful.
It sounds like there is a great importance for those who are worthy to receive this energy and have the knock-on effect for the earth to shift, but have that greater shift out with into the galaxy and other realms and dimensions. Would that be correct?
That is correct. Your understanding, it's a movement. It's a flow. It starts with one person deciding, and then another person wanting, deciding, moving, incrementally changing, intentionally living, calling in, asking for, experiencing, dreaming bigger, letting go of limitations, evolving, journey, the reawakening, recalibration, remapping. Yeah, it's the recalibration of the blueprints and the wireframe of what humanity has always realized and becoming something new. It's like the birthing of a new species.
That sounds beautiful. Can you tell me the benefits, which are probably many, that those outside of Earth will receive when this shift happens? Can you tell me why it's so important to those outside of Earth that the shift happens?
Harmony. It's a harmony. It's bringing the balance of the crystalline frequency, the rivers of light back into harmony. The imbalance that has been tearing the galaxies, tearing the dimensions apart. Hang in there. Not the pain and the disjointedness. It's time for harmony, the evolution of harmony. Across the worlds, across the planets, the galaxies, the dimensions. Reharmonization of the ripples of the timelines. As we call back those timelines that have been rippled and broken, then we can actually, once we do that, then we can call in a more empowered sense of self for the multiple ripples that are holding the wounded energies. And we can come back into wholeness.
Thank you for such a beautiful description of what that harmony can bring. But can you tell me why there is a disharmony out there, like outside of the Earth? Why does the Earth need to bring harmony? Can you explain what caused the disharmony or why it exists?
Power play. Greed.
So outside of the Earth, in the higher dimensions, there is still greed and the more basic desires.
Not all are so evolved. Some have the technology and use it in a very challenging way.
Okay.
They hold a blackened heart. It's full of illusion, full of control. We don't want to. It's time to come back into harmony. The more of us that believe in harmony can embody the unconditional love, the greater the reflection of the light, the greater the return of the movement, of the flow, the joy. Just be the joy. Be the joy.
So I'm understanding what you're saying now, but can I ask why it seems to be the weight of responsibility is on humanity to have that knock-on effect for the galaxy? Why humanity? Why?
It is not just humanity. Humanity feels it because you're human. And those communicating through the galactic fields are very much communicating with the humanness of what is working for this human earthly movement. But there are many other galaxies and realms. And there are other pivotal points also. It is not just humanity that must hold this balance. Humanity is important. Earth is important. It is a pivotal structure. A link. It is a link within the geometric form, but there are other links also in the complexities of the realms, but also creating shift and movement, needing to change. Needing to embody more love.
Is there a pressing need for this to happen soon, or?
Soon as in the eyes of the beholder. Be present, be now. If everyone embodies love, everybody becomes love. Love is a question, love is the answer. You just be present in joy.
Can I ask, is humanity doing a good job of moving in the direction that they should be for the shift to happen for the benefit of the galaxies and dimensions?
You ask if humanity is working in a positive way?
Yes. Are we moving in the right direction?
Yes. Yes.
Just slightly positive, or are we doing really well?
Exceptional.
It's lovely to hear. Would it be true to say that there's lots of other beings sort of almost acting as spectators and enablers for humanity to make this rise and shift? Are they around the planet at the moment, looking on?
There are many helping, There are many helping and coordinating efforts. Lots of coordinated efforts. And the land activations, the portals awakening, increasing the spectrum of light, opening the bandwidth for that unconditional love to be received and for people to make the decision to choose love. It is shifting. People are moving through what feels very chaotic, but it is just a clearing. It's the imprints, the energies of the planet shifting through the people. Yes, it's very heavy sometimes, but it's okay. Because with every time we clear, we become more love. And as we become more love, we become unconditional love. And in unconditional love, there is limitless potential to in the light. And then the matrix, and geometric form, the beauty and the expansiveness collates that much more.
You named yourself as the Guardians. Are the Guardians some of the beings who are around the Earth at the moment?
No.
Okay.
We are guarding the light. We are working with Susan, communicating with her, guiding. And she communicates with the galactics, coordinates galactic efforts. She's busy at night. So we communicate to her, but she communicates to them. But then we think it's funny because we think it's funny because then she's down there, but she doesn't remember what she's doing. So therefore, she's going, "What are they? Oh, look, I'm connecting."
So does Susan connect with you regularly on a daily basis when she's working? Does she connect with you, or is she connecting with someone else?
We have some of who she works with.
Okay.
Different one of us come forth at different times. We help her heal. And then we bring in more light when she needs it. She needs lots of light.
So does all of Susan's team come from within the Guardians? Is it all yous, or is there other races that would be working with Susan?
There are many across the realms, across the quantum field, across the dimensions. There are representatives from many star systems offering wisdom, guidance.
Would the Guardians be of the highest realm that Susan connects with? Is there anyone higher than you that Susan connects to?
We are just guardians of the light. There is wise ones that are much more ancient. Revered. They work with her also.
Okay. So the Guardians of the Light, it's probably not a concept that you can answer, but is there a place? Is there a place that you reside that you could say in human terms that we could possibly understand? A dimension or a level or...
Okay. We say it is like looking out on a galaxy of stars and manifesting a door within the stars. Maybe you could use a star as a handle and you open the door and there we are. We are the light within all. Open that door. We are everywhere. We are anywhere.
I've opened those doors before. I do that.
You do. This is because you are love. The more you embody it, the more you come to know it.
The language you're speaking is beautiful.
Thank you.
Is there a description or a name for that?
We are that we are. No.
The light language that Susan channels through her art, the beautiful symbols that you see in her artwork, is this like a representation of what you're speaking at the moment?
Sometimes there are other languages.
Okay.
Depends on the work, the frequency she's channeling at the time.
Do you know of any that specifically Susan could look at and know that that's what she's channeling, the language you're speaking, if she was to look at some of her artwork?
When she
when she's seeing the depth in the codes within the codes within the code, she sees the multi-layers of the light. This is when she's seeing the truths of the light, the rivers of light, the water wheels of the energizing of the light. She's seeing within complexities, not just seeing the stream of the light, not just seeing the stream of the code, but the code within the code within the code. Again, this will keep growing.
Okay. Susan created some beautiful artwork of the Macree standing stones this week, and it's very relevant to where we are. And there was code coming off those and a sort of light pattern. Would that be relevant to the guardians and the language you're speaking at the moment?
Yes, that is correct. But it's only the very shallow depths of the of what is truly awakening. She needs to go within the code.
Okay. When she goes within that code, what will Susan discover?
Truth.
Truth about herself.
Truth about the activations that she seeks. Okay. It's like the body can wake up. It's like she's trying to work through a dormant vessel. It's so heavy. So she needs to wake it up. The code within the code. She needs to go deeper.
Can you give her any advice on how she goes deeper? What methods should she use to find this code within the code within the code?
Okay, so she likes to write. She can write bigger with thicker text, and then break it down and write within that, and then write within that, and then write within that, and write within that. So she breaks it down. So she's writing code within the code, layers and layers within the writing, and she's going to see the intricacies of the explanations and awaken the unconscious connection back into the unconditional love that connects into divine intervention, pure light, separate we think you'll enjoy exploring that.
Can I have a further explanation of the guardians and your place in guarding the light? So we believe the light comes from the source, from the great central sun. So would that be a fitting description perhaps of where you are guarding the light, or is it another place?
It's auto. Come on. We think it's beautiful. We pretend like rivers, beautiful rivers, generating energy, sending off divine parcels for those that are calling it in. You could call it the central sun and the energy being transmitted, source light, but we generate the energy, we bring it form. Imagine little gifts. So you wake up in the morning and you say, at the door, I'm going to be loved today. All I am and do is in love. I'm going to be joy today. And you walk through your day. Enjoy, in love. And this is like pinging through the communication pathways, and we hear. And we can parcel up a little divine intervention to send light your way. Magic. I got that. Magic.
I like that word. So our intentions, our good intentions are picked up by the guardians and
Yes, I am. Yes, you know. You're so cute. So together.
that's very useful information. You mentioned from a planet at the beginning. So do you have a physicality that you would define as a physicality or a planet in that region where you are, where you exist?
Like a nebula, like a galaxy of its own.
Okay.
Hidden from plain sight.
Yeah.
And but we see and we hear the koto, and we're connected to the vibration. This is why it responds to love and joy. And that is that's also why we recognize when we recognize when it is in worthiness or in deception, because love is not always real love. Love is sometimes just an expression, but it's not held in the unconditional frequency of the light. Someone's still learning that. And then they somewhere from desire, not from openness.
So is each guardian a sovereign being on their own? Would they identify as being an individual?
Yeah, mostly. We have our factions. It's like a community that is to get connected. Mission, you would call it.
A mission?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use the language that you're speaking at the moment to communicate with each other, the guardians?
Not so much. It's more telepathic. It's this is to help the humanness of the situation. It's like the translator between the frequency and the human language.
Yeah.
The bridge. The bridge.
Okay.
The bridge is a good word.
What is beyond where you are? Is there something past or above if you go further?
It's it's like a blank canvas ready for creation. It's just light.
Okay.
This is like a tattoo, like a calling card. And when the purity rises in a strong enough action, then the light will be received and it will be woven into the new love. Like a portal to time into connectedness, a connection through from where you are to where you can potentially be.
Has a guardian ever chosen to incarnate on Earth?
No.
Would it be a possibility for you?
And then one more. And you I don't think it's necessary. You need to hold the light, guard the light. When we go into a human existence, those that go to a human existence forget the light.
Yeah.
You need to hold the light, guard the light, secure the light.
So coming into a human form would almost go against your very existence and being of what you are.
Conflict.
Yeah.
Yes.
So where you reside and where you, at the level you're at, whether it's a dimension or frequency, is there other beings operating at your level that you can identify with, that you know who's there and who's working?
We're hidden in plain sight. Just behind the veil, just a tukatatia, guarding the light, keeping it safe. We use and work with other souls to communicate those we could trust. No. We don't get involved. We just guard the light.
Okay. Is it possible for humans to perceive you, to have a vision of where you are?
No, it's not necessary. No, it's a human thought. A human thought to know everything. Just trust.
I believe. I fully believe. I'm just asking if it was a possibility. When Susie connects with you, I'm just wondering if she actually gets a vision of you. Do you?
No. It's the vibration of feeling.
Okay.
It's the flow. It's the sensation of coming into the 0 point. That's when she knows.
It's a breath.
It's a reconnection of self. And then to find us, she must go within, code within the code. And she starts realizing it, whether she expresses it through whether she expresses it through picture, through drawing, through writing. Ultimately, it's leading her to learn that this vessel is the code, and the code within the code within the code is what she needs to find. So she needs to go. She needs to go inward, in deeper find answers. Beyond that, inside.
So by going inside and finding pure light, love inside and out, this will unlock the other abilities.
I get that again. Yes, mother. Yes, that's exactly correct.
Okay.
Vision, the lake, the consciousness lake. Vision, the consciousness lake. The stillness, the vastness, clarity. Become the consciousness, the stillness, the clarity, the wisdom. Just awaken. Allow that expectation. Just sweet calm.
Would it be correct to say that meditation is the place to go and the tool to use to go inside and find the still point? Is that the best way to find that?
Yeah. Different people will find it in different ways. Meditation is beneficial, definitely, to dig down. But meditation without distraction of words is connecting the brainwaves into the correct vibrations so that information channels can flow freely without manipulation. Words manipulate. Other methods like what one loves to do, And like Susan talks about drawing and losing tongue, and like a meditation in itself. And so doing what one loves. This is important. Let's stop rejecting the peace, like just accepting flow.
So being creative and allowing yourself to find love through the things that you're passionate about in life, will help you find the still point and
finding now the 0 point.
The 0 point. When one reaches that 0 point, will you know that you're there? How would one know that they've found it?
It's a feeling. I don't get dying like floating to get to the air without disruption, without tension. It's a vastness and stillness and interconnectedness with the totality.
So once you reach there and you find that stillness and the emptiness and the peace just inside yourself, whether it's meditation or through painting or being creative, at that point, what must one do, or should one do something to then activate the other abilities that may be waiting to come along?
This is a beautiful thing, because the intention should be set before going into the activity, and so therefore you've already got your anchor point as to what you want to activate or connect with. And so therefore organically, once you actually reach that point, once you reach that point, then the magic organically happens, because we feel it, we see it, we know it, and we divinely intervene with the magic muscle of the light. And through that still point, the seeds are planted and embodied and allowed.
Thank you for such a beautiful answer. I've been discussing many things with Susan today, and I would like to ask your opinion and advice on when Susan is working and her energy drains when she's working with clients. Is there anything particular she could do to stop it feeling so hard on her body when she's working with others' energy?
It looks like the energy that's channeling the clients are representative of the greater earth frequencies that are needing to shift. The clients are unaware. So where she's channeling and clearing the planetary influence. The client, but she's clearing the planetary influence.
Right.
But the body triggers because it's also It's like the ancient codes within the karmic energy held through the generations and generations and generations, which has been so locked and so blocked, so dense. It's like tar trying to release through the door, through the energy. It's difficult. And that day, it's not going to last though. The body is clearing and changing very. The body is changing very quickly. The remapping of the genetic code so that this is not the case ongoing. And it will it'll get easier and joy and love will become with ease and grace. Now the change she is looking for is coming into Tulan. And you don't worry, just a little more patience. She's doing good.
So she spoke about pivoting in her work and sort of maybe turning away from so much client work and finding something else.
Working in person might be easier. But yes, the pivot. She's hearing correctly. She could trust what she's hearing. And just keep incremental steps. Just step by step. Keep doing, and the change will come. It's okay.
She's obviously taking on a lot more when clearing a client's energy and then clearing the planet's energy through that client. So is there any extra things she can do to protect herself while she's in that situation, working with a client? Or does she just need to wait on the change of the body upgrading and it becoming easier? Is all the protection there that she needs?
We are just discussing so it looks like we could increase the flow, the toric field, the flow of the core energy through the chakras, the meridians, so it flows faster. Therefore, the energy has more opportunity to break down and cleanse. And her energy is more protected within in the work she's doing.
Okay. And is this a healing that you can do for her today?
It's already happening. Has to get time. Yes. Every cell, there is a soft vibration that is moving through the legs, pulsing down through the meridians. I get to the hands, temples. She feels lovely. She's okay.
Will she find the benefit of what you've done? Will she feel that soon when working with clients again?
Energy is pretty instantaneous, so we would expect so.
That's great. Thank you very much.
And she still needs to maintain boundaries. And this is important.
She explained a complex series of protections that she does. So as long as she keeps them up, the changes that you've done today is enough to protect her and keep her feeling good, better than she has been, and not drained after working with clients.
This will also assist to create the geometry within the geometry. So what we were talking about, the code within the code within the code. So it's not just geometry surrounding, but it's interweaving through to create greater clarity in the way the information forms, flows, connects, integrates to sustain the planet, the galaxy, the light, interconnectedness. I go to and to keep both in that light to get the end.
Thank you very much. Susan spoke about a previous QHHT session where she received the feminine codes to integrate into herself, and I think she said there was 23 different feminine codes that was integrated. Has that work been completed now?
I go to no.
Is there any more Susan needs to do to complete the work?
No. It'll come in when and as it's ready to be received.
Okay, so it's waiting to be received once.
It's about to cut to and then incremental shifts and changes, and allowing them to integrate in between so that so it's not too overwhelming.
Okay. So Susan doesn't need to do anything, she just needs to be, and these moments will come along and the integration will happen at the right time.
I get to tell you that is correct.
Okay. She also spoke about the divine masculine codes. Is this, would it be relevant to ask the same question?
The travel bot seems to be holding many of these still. They're not fully integrated either, but they're safe for when they're ready to be received.
Okay. Can you tell me the purpose and the benefit that Susan will receive once these codes have integrated? What's it bringing to her?
I get to tell you, it's like a multi-dimensionality. It's like, it's like multiple levels through the DNA complexities. This is so remapping because the human DNA does not hold the space. So within the etheric field, as this weaves in, it opens for greater multidimensionality of one soul to fulfill the mission, to become the lion. It's a complete remapping of the DNA. And the shape of the energy system, the geometry of the body. It's completely at the body. It's completely changing everything. This will be exhausting for a human person. But you must just take time to get there, just take time. Understanding is important. No. Just take time.
Okay.
It's all right. I'll tell more people to be more loved as well.
Okay. I will. But just to reinforce what you did, you brought energy in through the toric fields and filled up the cells, so that will help Susan cope with the integration of the feminine codes, and that'll help with everything.
Yeah, they get that. Yeah, it's all about transformation. Yes, I get that.
Can I ask about the 23 different codes? Are these feminine codes from different races or beings and throughout the galaxy? It's not the 23 human codes.
I don't not 23 human codes, 23 source codes from 23 different races.
Okay.
All hold different traits, abilities. All hold a core element that humanity needs, the planet needs to elevate. So when and as they see through Susan and then others connect, to do an energy exchange. Like you've done today, then these codes can be received, and as they receive, then you go away and and then with every step and every breath and every heartbeat and every time you choose love and joy, these will be shared with another and they'll be shared with another. I get that to go, and you can see the wave and the movement. And everyone learns to breathe again.
It's beautiful. You spoke about these codes that are changing DNA and things. Would any human medical procedure actually see changes happening within Susan if the right things were looked at?
Maybe in the expression of the genetic, the way the proteins express, but not in the DNA form. It's more the genes expressing in a new way. It's more etheric. Like if you imagine that once she looked like a rock, now she looks like a diamond.
Okay.
And then she's going to transform into something else incrementally, and as she can sustain Dakato. You're the same. This is happening to you too.
Thank you.
You're doing the work. I get the door. We're just divine intervention. Oh, we are the guardians of the light. It is our pleasure.
Susan was talking about the primordial earth grids. She had worked on them before and helped stabilise them. Are they now stabilised sufficiently, or are they needing more work?
Okay, we couldn't see them, but they are veiled behind protective shields so they cannot be distorted again. Shut down. They appear alive. They appear to be good.
in good form and are safe now.
They I look like they look like they're flourishing.
Good. Can you tell me more about the primordial earth grids? What do they provide for the earth? What do they do for the earth?
I feed the roots. I feed sustain. But they are part of the interconnectedness. So when they came back online, the geometry of the connection with the other galaxies, dimensions, it was like missing link because they were turned off. They were enchanted, turned off. They were robbed and starved of love. I deal with the one, But then, when she awoke, and I opened the light back into them, and it reconnected the link of the geometry. And this is very needed for the rise of it was needed to reconnect the geometry of the matrix that reconnects with a new earth rising. But this is foundational, and this is done. And there are beings that are watching this closely now. And there are forces, galactic forces, and councils that appear to be up together. This is their role, purely their role, to watch these grids.
Okay. Is it those galactic forces that have now veiled the grids to protect them?
Yep.
Okay. Who was it that sort of damaged or turned them off previously?
At the fall of humanity, the trickery, false contracts that were written against the earth and humanity. So much was lost. So many people forgot. So much hardship. Take it down. That is changing now. So coming back online.
Can you give me a time or a name of the stage the earth was at when these grids were switched off, turned off? Did it happen at a particular place?
I see a time of the rivers running black, of the light being turned off, of the light not being accessible. I can see betrayal in councils, in high councils, deception. I see humanity going into slavery. It was like a dark cloud fell. We don't want to focus on this time.
Okay.
You focus forward. It's time for everyone to focus on the unconditional love. To power, to open heart, to get wider.
Can the grids be felt today? Is the pyramids built over parts of the grids? Is there specific placements of buildings over parts of the grids to maybe tap into the energy they provide?
It's a good point. The conductors, not just the pyramids. They're also inverted pyramids within the lands feeding into the grids. And the portals, where the portals have been opened. Even the ancient portals are opening at the car as you're seeing across the lands. As you're working across the lands, you're doing it. Even though you don't feel the complexity of what you're doing, you get impressions. It is that opening of the heart and being willing that makes you a conduit for it to be so. Funeral forms, each of you being a key through the signature frequency you hold back at the toe. And the more you embody that truth, the more you embody that truth, the more you come back into your potential of the land. That we can help you out.
Would the ley lines and the dragon lines of the earth, is that the same as the primordial earth grids?
What they're saying about somewhat, that they're like veins of interconnecting of.
Is there a specific purpose, if they're slightly separate, is there a specific purpose for the ley lines and the dragon lines that go across the earth?
It's like thinking of the human body as a different form of the earth. So the veins, blood vessels,
okay,
lymphatic vessels, the organs. In some respect, the earth or the human form is a walking, talking version of the earth. So the more we embody love, the more that's reflected through the earth.
Is there any equivalent of the guardians of light that reside on the planet? I know you said you don't come to the planet to embody here, but is there guardians who play a similar role to?
There are others, but they're not guardians of light, they're guardians of other forms. I've seen recently that the guardians of the ocean, deep in the depths, but they had been sleeping, poisoned. But they too are waking now. And with that, the wisdom of the water awakens. So work with the water, because the wisdom of the water is awakening. And with that, again, it's another portal into the awakening of the self.
Does Susan remember meeting the guardians of the ocean?
I agree. Vaguely. We can.
Can you remind her of the benefits that she received when she met them, or any knowledge that she gained when meeting them?
Yes, that is a good idea. Yeah, yes.
I am John Slavin, and I trust you enjoyed listening to Susan Green channel The Guardians of the Light. This was a session in February 2026 where Susan was the client for QHHT and I was the practitioner. And it wasn't the first session we'd ever had before. We had one in 2025, and it was the early days of my QHHT training. And I think it may only have been my sixth session with a client. And it was a life-changing session for myself. And I would say it was quite a profound situation for Susan as well, of what she experienced in that. And coming through that session, it gave me the confidence to say, I can do this and I want to do these sessions going forward. And I have done. It's gave me the belief to carry on as a QHHT practitioner. So if we fast forward to February 2026, I didn't think we could possibly top that session from last year. But then we started the session and, well, actually we were, just to give you more background, we were trying to shortcut part of a QHHT session in the weekend where there was a group of practitioners had come together and we were trying to almost get straight to the higher self rather than going through past lives, that many of us had worked with each other before and we've had a lot of past lives. So rather than exploring more past life, we decided we would just get straight to the higher self. And that's what happened. Susan started the session, as you heard, in English, and then she uttered the first phrase of light language, which I totally missed, and I thought I just misheard her. And I'm like, oh, what did you say there? I've missed it. And then she said another phrase in English and then a longer phrase in light language, and I was just so amazed and immediately felt privileged to be in such a position. I knew then it was going to be even more amazing than the session we had in 2025. To have a client bring through a being or a collective of beings, perhaps, from such high dimensions, and speaking light language, I suppose it's a big tick in a spiritual bucket list. If I have such a thing, then that's certainly something that I've always wanted to experience, is a client bringing through that type of being, and me having the chance to ask those type of questions of who are you, where are you, what is your role, and then leading on with other questions, as you heard in the scenario in the session. So hopefully you feel that I did a good job of getting information. I was pleased at the end of it that I had seemed quite coherent and I wasn't too tongue-tied, or there wasn't too many ums and ahs, and I was able to ask the questions with a semblance of clarity. And it was just quite amazing to be in that position. What, looking back on it, I suppose that the major takeaway for me, I think, was really I suppose it's wrapped up in the role of the light, the guardians of light, and their place. And the way I heard it, at least, and you may have heard the answer different to me, but it translated to me as they're the beings who hear your prayers. So as we send out requests or prayers or pleas for help out into the universe or to God or just into the cosmos, then they're the beings that hear them and then respond, sending the light energy back to us to fulfill the prayer that we were asking for. And that was the concept that really hit me of the role and where they were. And if that is the role, then I could imagine them, they're way up there at the gates of heaven, if there is such a place, right at the doorway of source, where all the light emanates from, and that's where I imagined them to be. And now, when I speak to them, we're now lucky enough to speak to them on a weekly basis, asking more questions, and that's who I imagine I'm talking to. In fact, I don't imagine. I've been told that's where they are, or that's the lofty place they reside. So that's, I suppose, my major takeaway from the session. And there's obviously the answers to the other questions that they provided. And since then, they've answered so many more of my questions, personal questions for me, personal questions for Susan, and then some of the bigger questions that Susan and I have asked about humanity, about Gaia, about the shift, about perhaps the galactic races around the world at the moment. And it's just a pleasure and a real privilege to be in this position. It's Again, I've used that bucket list phrase, and now being in this position of being able to speak to them every week and ask questions is just it's really exciting. It's almost a highlight to the week to sit in front of Susan and for her to bring through the Guardians of Light and then being able to ask questions. And it's developing, because very much the first time we got together after the QHHT session, I was a wee bit like a rabbit in the headlights. Meeting them again almost felt like a safer place to be in QHHT in front of them, whereas sort of looking them in the eye, face to face, in the sessions that followed was more of a challenge, just to be natural and normal with it. But that's progressed now that we've had 9 sessions over the last 9 weeks. And we're now adding this QHHT session into the mix just so that people can hear the very first time that they came through, as opposed to an audience, me being the audience. So that's my general thoughts on it. I'm sure there's a lot more that I've forgotten about that I'd like to have added today, but that was just to give you a background on where it all came from. And the session itself, the recording, it finishes maybe slightly abruptly, but just from that point onwards, the questions that were answered were so much more personal to Susan rather than being the bigger questions that I was sort of digging into and asking. So we ended it there. So it may feel that it cuts off slightly with an unfinished feel, but hopefully that you can then go on to watch week 1, 2, 3 up to 9, and who knows how many more weeks and episodes we'll be able to add to this. We certainly have plans to take it as far as we possibly can while there's still questions to be asked. So I hope you'll join us on the journey, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing where it all began. Thank you.